right before you take a major risk, whether it's stepping onto a stage, launching a business, or finally showing your work to the world, a very specific voice usually chimes in. It tells you that you aren't ready. It catalogs your flaws and quietly suggests that you might fail. Modern culture offers a standard way to handle this internal noise. Ignore it. We are told to block out the negativity with positive affirmations. The advice is to simply fake confidence until the fear permanently evaporates. And then there is Bruce Lee. He is widely viewed as a mythological figure of pure, effortless certainty. But the historical reality is different. The human being in this photograph suffered from profound, recurring self-doubt. He didn't possess a magical ability to silence his insecurities. Instead, he developed a psychological mechanism to harvest that negative noise and process it into actionable data.
True confidence is not a spontaneous emotion or a mystical state of mind you wait to feel. It is a carefully engineered architectural structure, and doubt is the primary raw material used to build it. Early in his training in Hong Kong, Bruce Lee faced severe physical limitations. He was constantly failing foundational techniques. The critical pivot happened when he stopped attaching his ego to those mistakes. He stopped treating a physical failure as a sign of personal inadequacy. He developed a new framework. Every time a movement felt weak or an attack landed on him, he immediately reclassified that failure as an objective research question. This diagram shows exactly how that clinical study worked. He would take a failing movement and isolate the variables. He looked at the degree of his stance, the exact torque of his hips, and the specific tension points in his shoulders. He ran a relentless iteration loop. He would test structural variations, record the physical results, and refine the skeletal angles to optimize the kinetic energy. By stripping the emotion away and treating weakness as a mechanical error, he mapped out his insecurities as a clear, emotionless blueprint for improvement. By the 1960s, Lee was facing severe external criticism from peers in a deeply orthodox, rigid environment. They actively doubted his unconventional methods and told him his ideas would never work. He refused to waste his energy engaging in verbal arguments to prove them wrong. Instead, he used their skepticism to fuel a process of evidence accumulation. He targeted his grueling conditioning against tools like the Wing Chun dummy, generating hard physical data points of his increasing capability. This process bridges the gap between hitting a target and trusting yourself. When you have thousands of documented repetitions against a tool that provides instant feedback, your confidence is no longer a guess. It becomes a measured observation of your own capacity. This constant processing of doubt eventually evolved into adaptation. Because he was already in the habit of questioning his own personal limits, it was a natural step to start questioning the rigid, centuries-old techniques of the broader martial arts world. This chart visualizes that leap in logic. Traditional defense relies on a rigid, linear system. Force comes in, you block it, and the movement stops. Lee discarded that. He built an adaptive, circular system where he learned to absorb external force and redirect it. He systematically abandoned any stance or block that wasn't working. That willingness to throw away useless tradition is what created his legendary speed and flexibility. His global legacy of fluidity was only possible because he possessed the humility to constantly doubt and discard established norms. All of this internal engineering eventually brought him to a massive global stage. He was suddenly operating under intense pressure, surrounded by complex equipment, heavy lighting, and massive production crews. Yet on screen, he projected absolute, undeniable certainty. But the historical secret is that his internal voices of doubt never actually disappeared. The aura of confidence audiences saw on screen was the visual manifestation of a man who spent years systematically stripping doubt of its power to control him. Stop waiting for your fear to permanently subside before you take action. Identify your single biggest current doubt right now. Reframe it as a mechanical weakness that needs to be studied. Stop viewing your past failures as dead ends. Extract them for diagnostic data. Take that specific internal voice telling you what you can't do and use its exact words to map out today's required preparation. Treat your doubt as a precise diagnostic sensor. It highlights the exact structural flaws you need to reinforce to build a foundation that holds up when the world is watching.
They didn't believe in him, but he believed in the work. Never stop fighting for your dream. If this story inspired you, like, subscribe, and share.